Hello, this is Sandhya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created this two-toned watercolored card using Karin markers. You see that I have already stamped out the floral image and sentiment from the Fear Not stamp set that just released at Unity Stamp Company this week. I'm starting off with a couple of shades of Karin markers. I hope I'm saying that correct, but anyways. Yeah, and then I use a water brush to add water. So I first paint my petal with water and then drop concentrated pigment towards the bottom or base of the petal. I use the water brush to pull the pigment out and spread it out, making sure to keep it as light as possible towards the outer edge. I continue to do this process for every single petal of the first flower. And then I grab a second shade of blue that is slightly darker than the one I already used for my second flower. The two shades of Karin markers that I have used are indigo blue and royal blue. Because this is a slow and repetitive process, I'm going to be skipping quickly to the end of my coloring where I've completed the two flowers and the bud. Next, I grab the lush green marker and start coloring up the little stem below the bud and the leaves. I turn on some music so you can relax and watch me continue coloring. At this point, I realized that there's a couple leaves that I've already colored in with blue. And that is when I got the idea of going in for a two-toned look. I also felt that my flowers were a bit too flat. In spite of all the shading, they just didn't look lively enough to be a spring card. So I went ahead and colored in a couple of leaves using green. But then I went back with some green and colored over the blue leaves using the same green marker. As I liked the two-tone look, I went ahead and added some more blue and mixed it in with the greens for the remaining leaves too, so I had more of a uniform bluish green for the leaves. I brought in the magenta marker shade to add my dual tone to the petals of the flower. So again, I add concentrated pigment to the bottom and just use clean water to pull it out. I make sure not to pull the pigment across the entire petals so that I can still retain some of that blue and then have a gradient of pink over it. I love the two-tone effect that this technique creates, and I think I'm going to be using this a lot more in my floral coloring. Again, this is a slow and repetitive process, so I'm going to skip forward to where I finish adding my second tone of coloring to all the petals and the bud. Once I'm done coloring, I bring in a circle die and die cut my cardstock. Then I bring in some white gouache and my splatter box and add a bunch of white splatters on my image. Once it is dried up, I go ahead and trim some pattern paper. So the one I'm using here is from the Halloween paper pack from Unity Stamp Company. Once I'm happy with that, I also trim a little strip of black cardstock to add as an accent to my card. I use liquid adhesive to adhere my pattern paper onto a white card base. As usual, I'm using Neenah 110 pound Solar White Classic Crest cardstock. This is a nice heavyweight cardstock that I love to use for my card bases. I do have a link to the supplies in my blog post, so make sure you visit that and take a look at the amazing price at which it's currently available on Amazon. So next I add some foam tape to the back of my circle element and adhere that to my card base. I wanted to jazz up the card a little bit more, so I brought in my sequins and then chose a few different shades of purple or violet and just added them using liquid adhesive. This brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, do hit the like button below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.